Okay, thanks everybody for being here and for the few minutes that you're gonna listen to us speak. In thinking about tonight, we found it difficult to try and find the right choice of words to share with you all in celebration of our Zadie's 90th birthday. Ron Biderman has many exemplary qualities, as I'm sure you're all aware of. But we would like to take a few minutes to highlight a few that we appreciate the most. The first being his willingness to teach and explain. In the 26 years that I've been alive, the world has changed drastically. With advancements in technology and changes to internet access, unlimited information is available. But for those of us who know Ron Biderman, this is not as big a deal as it is for most, as I've always felt the answer to any question I might have is just a phone call away. If you've ever worked on a crossword puzzle with him, I'm sure you know this to be true. I guess there might be something to reading multiple books a week for 80 plus years. Maybe I should try it. In addition to being a great teacher, he's also an excellent listener. I've never met someone who listens as patiently and as thoughtfully as my Zadie. He truly focuses on every word and is kind enough to ignore our frequent grammatical indiscretions. He always gives you his honest impression on your ideas, is patient enough to sit through half-formed opinions on business, economics, politics, medicine, or whatever else we might like to discuss. We always leave the conversations with thought-provoking questions and important reminders that there is always more to learn. The follow-up emails we get the next day with further reading materials on the subjects is where we tend to start.
Beyond being a good listener, we appreciate that our Zadie is always willing to change his mind if presented with a compelling argument. From taking Maya's advice and incorporating ski-specific training exercises into his gym regimen, learning bridge online, or cutting orange juice from his diet entirely when recommended by a doctor, he's always open to adapting when presented with new information. A great example of this is his change in political views over the course of his lifetime. A year or two ago, Zadie and I were having coffee on his back porch discussing a recent book I read on communist thought at the highest level that I could manage at the time. After a lengthy discussion, we finished our coffees, and he told me that should he ever publish a memoir, it would be titled From Red to Redneck. Who would have seen that coming? That said, our Zadie is fundamentally a creature of habit. He is as reliable as they come, often to the point of predictability. From maintaining his law practice until he was 89, to frequenting Summerhill Market, Harvard Bakery, and Nortown, Zadie exemplifies being a regular. His predictability in routine matches his predictability in habit. There's no better example of this than his commitment to health and fitness. Zadie is perhaps the most unlikely of gym bros. Well, it's likely he has never been called a bro in his 90 years. He would put that demographic to shame with his decades-long commitment to the Y, turned JCC, turned home gym enthusiast during the pandemic. It is with the same dedication to routine that he still refers to instruction cards made by our booby 40-odd years ago that explained which suits go with which ties and which shirts based on the season when choosing the right outfit.
Another quality that I'm sure at least all of us grandchildren appreciate is his propensity to take risks. Each of us learned to drive in his car, with him sitting calmly and unfazed in the passenger seat. To be willing to do this not once or twice, but 5 times, shows that he's willing to take a gamble if he sees good reason to do so. It would be impossible to talk about all that our Zadie is without talking about his generosity of spirit. From sharing his personal art collection with his family and the public en masse through donations to the AGO, to taking us and our family skiing, he enriches the lives of those around him every single day. Our family ski trips to Silver Star still remain some of our most cherished moments. Our Zadie has had many phases to his life, touching each of us in this room along the way. From a kid growing up at Nivelt, to a basketball player at high school, a lawyer, a whiskey jack, a father, a grandfather, our Zadie has been many things. While we weren't there for these phases of life, we have seen the fruits of them and reaped the benefits. His days as a garage sale logistician have furnished many apartments over. His commitment to wine collecting has translated to our lifetime of wine drinking from bottles older than we are. We have shared with him and thanks to him lives rich in family, experience, and art. Now we could go on forever speaking to the qualities about our Zadie that we admire, but in the interest of letting everyone leave before his 91st birthday, we'll leave it here. All of the qualities mentioned briefly today still do not capture the great man, father, and grandfather that our Zadie is. Zadie, we love you. Happy birthday.